Hey there. What is going on? Man, we're living in some pretty turbulent times. Do you ever feel like everything's happening all at once and it's coming from every direction? You're not alone. From the struggles kids face in schools, to the systemic oppression of minorities, wealth inequality, and the great political divide, just to name a few, things are pretty jacked up.
My God, that is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
The struggles and challenges we have to work through are many, yet we can't even really talk about it without being attacked or shamed for our ideas and beliefs. Sadly, we're at a point in time where discussing some topics feels dangerous, and the short list of what we're allowed to talk about is shrinking every day. Hate speech is rampant, and people are intentionally hurting each other deeply without remorse or consequences. It's so weird.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
I can relate with those feelings of dread and despair that I'm hearing so many people post about on social media, and it's tempting to pass blame, but the roots run deep. So many people are traumatized and chronically sensitive. It's as if we're in this perpetual fight or flight mode. After a bit of a crisis in 2020, I spent a few years in what's known as hermit mode, and I had a lot of time and space to meditate on this. Through reflection, I believe, I've pinned it down to one thing that we collectively are missing. It's as if we've been robbed of a core part of our being. Something that's been absolutely vital in all the progress we've made as being humans. It's what's compelled us forward. Now the question is, can we get it back? In this episode, I'm going to share my discovery with you. This episode is dedicated to exploring what that missing piece is, and yes, we're going to learn on how we can get it back. Join me as we delve into this difficult conversation that will have us challenging narratives, building bridges between that which divides us, and figuring out how we can stop being such mean people to each other. My name is Scott Love, and I'll be your host on this epic journey into the fascinating and inspirational. In this episode, we take a look at faith and what we can do when everything we believed in turns out to be corrupt over and over and over again. Well, I'll tell you. But first, here's the thing. You are listening to Portals Podcast, an extension of the Emergence Creative Space. Listeners are transported into the hearts and minds of some of the most inspired creators, producers, artists, and activists around. Portals is a platform and a spotlight on the people, organizations, businesses, and more who are the unsung heroes making a huge impact on the lives of others. My name is Scott Love, and I'll be your host on this epic journey into the powerful world of the fascinating and inspirational. I am an activist, an entrepreneur, and a visionary. Over the years, I've made some incredible relationships with a lot of epic people, many of which have helped me and guided me on my journey. I believe they'll help you as well. Here's what's up. We are a people in transition. The choices we make now will affect the lives of others for generations to come. Our choices will be our legacy. I want Portals Podcast to be a go-to resource for those who are searching for solutions and to help move us all forward. Thanks for being here. All right, let's get inspired. Welcome back. Do you agree that something feels profoundly broken in our collective being human experience? It's more than political chaos or economic uncertainty. It's a deeper, more fundamental fracture. All the things that are happening in our society right now, they are all just merely symptoms. And we can't cure the disease, dis-ease, by only focusing on the symptoms. The disease grows that way. We need to get to the core of it. So what's the core of our collective disease? I believe it's the erosion of faith. Not just in the religious sense, there's that, but in the goodness of humanity sense, in living with purpose, and in the belief that kindness matters. That faith, once the bedrock of our society, is vanishing, fading out. It's been such a huge part of our collective experience for so long that without it, it seems like we're losing our identity. Faith acts like a compass, guiding our choices and shaping our lives. It molds our personal experiences, and that ripples out to influence our family, friends, and communities. And it's more than just a word or a doctrine. It's a mysterious force that anchors us to hope and meaning. Yet, for many, the word faith triggers feelings of resentment and vulnerability, and that's completely understandable. For many, the word faith is tangled up with the injustices committed in its name. But faith itself is innocent. It transcends human feelings. It represents the constant cause and effect rhythm of existence. Take a minute to look around at what shapes our existence these days. We're bombarded with messages that glorify personal gain over collective good, fleeting pleasures over enduring values. The institutions we once trusted now reek of corruption and self-interest. Suffering floods our hearts and minds from all directions, leaving us feeling powerless. So it's easy to drift into cynicism. Feeling untethered and purposeless, it's understandable. Losing faith often correlates with rising mental health struggles. When we lose faith, it feels like a part of our core has been stripped away. But faith isn't blind trust in others, whether that's individuals or institutions. It's the voice within that aligns our choices with our values. Problems arise when we silence that voice, or let others drown it out, or worse yet, let others tell us what that voice really means. Faith is more than a belief. It's the glue that holds communities together. It drives us to help those in need, to fight for what's right, and endure hardships. Without it, we become isolated and vulnerable to manipulation. Now, society reflects this fracture, in no small part because the media amplifies negativity, numbing us with stories of violence and corruption. And the institutions that once offered us comfort, or at least a counterweight to balance life out, religious organizations and social groups, are riddled with scandals and gridlock, eroding our trust even further. But here's the pivot from all that. We, being humans, are evolving. We're learning. We're getting better. We now know that the institutions are just tools, not our source of strength. When they fail, we do not. We can push pause, realign with our core values, and listen to our inner voice. And here's the miracle, if you will, or the magic, or the divinity of it all. We get to choose what happens next. We can choose hope. We can choose connection. We can choose to believe in a brighter future. Because within each of us lies our humanity, the source of our compassion. The bridge that binds us is the belief in something better. This is our calling, our challenge in the moment, to rediscover faith in ways that resonate with our hearts today. To seek new wells of meaning, fresh ways to connect with life's vastness. To nurture the quiet, powerful hope within every human spirit. It's a journey that requires honesty and courage, dismantling the barriers that divide us, and weaving together a tapestry of shared values. This is the story about the journey of our time. To build a world where faith, hope, and love don't just survive, but truly thrive. In our story, things get better. Hello there. My name is Scott Love, and I'm the founder of Portals Podcast and the Emergence Creative Space platform and website. You may know me from my work in creating a few very special gatherings, such as the 3DL Gathering, or 3 Days of Light, the Emergence events, and the 11-11-11 gatherings. ECS and Portals Podcast were created with the same intention and energy, which is to create a spotlight and a platform that brings inspired beings together to discover and discuss solutions. And it's all created with the 4 pillars in mind. The 4 pillars are sustainable living, natural health and wellness, personal spiritual development, and community, culture, and activism. And now I'm asking you for some help and support in doing this. The first thing you can do is head over to the Portals Podcast YouTube channel and become a subscriber. It's easy and it's free, and it'll help more people discover the channel. Another thing that you can do is become a contributing member on Patreon. You'll receive a few special perks and rewards, giving you early access to ECS Magazine, a chance to get early sneak peeks on drafts of scripts that I'm working on, and you'll also get special members-only news and information on upcoming projects and offers that will be exclusive to contributing members. Please become a supporting member of the ECS and Portals Podcast platform via Patreon. All right. Finding faith beyond the divine. Rediscovering sources of meaning. Welcome back.
DJ Cooper loves coffee.
Last time we explored what it's like to be living in a world that feels like we've lost something vital. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when we see all of society's cracks so clearly and over and over and over again. But here's the thing. While faith in old institutions may be fading, the potential for meaning, purpose, and hope still exists. Take the church, for example. Despite its corruption and distortion of the original principles, the core values, justice, fairness, honesty, hope, connection, they remain. And they're not just ideals, they're a part of us. Institutions may fail, but the values they were meant to protect endure. Pause and think about that for a second. These core principles are still alive and carried within each of us. Now let's consider faith in something older than religion, faith in humanity itself. Forget all the headlines and the fear-mongering that floods our devices. Instead, take a look at the people around you. What do they hope for? What values do they live by? Yes, some people are feeling lost and acting like it, but that's not the norm. The media amplifies fear to get our attention. But why are we so hooked on the negativity and suffering? It's a trap.
It's a trap!
Fear drains us of hope, leaving us vulnerable to quick fix solutions. Take this pill and you'll feel better, or whatever it is that they're promising to help you feel better. Mainstream media profits off shaming us, manufacturing crises, then selling us the cure. It keeps us anxious and disconnected, but there's a simple solution. A challenging one, though it's the first step to reclaiming your faith. Break free.
I want to break free!
I challenge you to cut down on your media consumption and see what happens. Doesn't even have to be completely. Just quiet the noise, and you'll create a space inside yourself, a space that's full of possibility. And in that stillness, you can choose what nourishes you. What seeds of inspiration, kindness, and truth do you want to plant? And this isn't just a one-time reset. It's a daily practice. Faith in humanity, goodness, and connection isn't naive. It's a choice that we're making in every moment. What would happen to our hearts and minds, our lives, if every diseased thought somehow switched to thoughts of something healthful, or at least not so freaking dreadful? When we focus on the best in others, those moments seem to multiply. Could it be that our focus shapes our reality? Life feels lighter, more joyful when we operate from a place of faith, but it requires active effort. It's not passive. It's a transformation. Suddenly good is everywhere to be seen. The small acts of a stranger holding the door open isn't just polite, it's a reminder of our shared humanity. The neighbor checking in isn't just friendly, they're a symbol of community. The activist fighting for justice isn't just idealistic, they're a warrior of hope. And guess what? It's always been there. Been here. We're just distracted by all the ugly that we are told to stare at. What if the world we dream of isn't a distant utopia, but a reality waiting to be seen? Maybe it's already here. We just have to peel back and see it. These moments, small but significant, shape the world in ways that we don't even notice. Yes, people are flawed, but they're also capable of extraordinary goodness. When we look for moments of kindness, we find them everywhere. Faith in humanity doesn't mean people are perfect. It means we believe in our collective potential to adapt, love, and rebuild. It's about seeing both light and darkness, and still believing that we can create something beautiful together. I know because I've seen the darkness. I've lived through it, and I can tell you, faith changes everything. I believe in people, not blindly, but with healthy discernment. Trust is earned, and faith is proven through actions. And the key word to all that is discernment. It's okay to change your mind if something no longer reflects your values. Not doing so got us here in the first place. And what about unum carmen? Is that even a thing? There you go. There you go. That's the spot. Oh, that's so good. Thank you. Now, if you could just hit that like button, that'd be awesome. Let's explore the idea of faith in nature and the universe, or the nature of the universe. In my mind, the word universe itself speaks volume. I break it down, with uni meaning one and verse meaning song. So universe really means one song. It hints at the profound unity, a cosmic melody that we're all a part of. It's unum carmen in Latin. When we immerse ourselves in nature, we often experience a sense of awe, a deep, primal sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. Here, do something with me. Imagine standing in a quiet forest, the breeze whispering through the trees. Or imagine staring at a starry night sky. These moments stir something deep within us, no matter how brief. The sounds, the rustling leaves, the waves crashing, the call of distant animals, all create a symphony of life, unfolding in perfect harmony. This order existed long before we had conscious minds, before we mistakenly, in our arrogance, thought ourselves separate or superior to nature. But now we know that, of course, that separation is an illusion. We are earthlings, born from the earth, our mother. Every single molecule that makes up our body comes from her. The carbon, the calcium, the iron in our blood, we get it all from our dynamic relationship with her. The more we reconnect with this truth, the more we can breathe in a sense of belonging and oneness with creation, the deeper our faith grows. How can we deny this connection when it resonates so deeply within us? Beyond nature, we also find faith in knowledge and reason, which are powerful tools that help us understand the world. The pursuit of knowledge, whether through science, history, or art, can be awe-inspiring. From a brief dive into a fascinating topic or a lifetime of study, the process of discovery fuels our drive for progress. Every scientific breakthrough is a testament to our innate desire to improve. We put in the effort, trusting that our work will bear fruit. Faith in reason is faith in the human mind and our ability to learn, evolve, and solve the challenges we face. I once saw the phrase, "logic killed God," written on the back of a jacket. And while I understand where you're coming from, I disagree. Logic didn't kill God. It pushed us to ask deeper questions and seek profound answers. And the mysteries run so deep, we may never find more than a fraction of what's out there. I liken scientific study to discovering what it's all about. I've also heard it said that quantum physics is the search for God, and I like that. With every discovery, we uncover a glimpse of something vast and incomprehensible. And the more we explore, the more we realize that the canvas on which this God is painted on stretches infinitely, both inwardly and outwardly. In the vastness of scientific inquiry, there's space for all of us to question, explore, and discover. Within that unwavering curiosity, there's faith. Faith in the power of the human mind to uncover the universe's mysteries, one discovery at a time. To become a contributing member, just click the membership tab on the Patreon page and select the level of support that best works for you. There are actually 4 options. There's a $3 a month option, or basically a cup of coffee a month, a $5 option, which is a cup of coffee and a shot of espresso added to it, which is how I like it, and an $11.11 option. And then there's the choose your own contribution level, which is for anyone that wants to give less due to their situation or more because they can. Whatever level you choose, thank you. I promise you that I will dedicate all of my being to creating a platform that inspires, empowers, guides, and supports those who are doing amazing things, or want to but need a point in the right direction. Art, creation, and faith. The spirit behind inspiration. Have you ever heard an artist talk about being channeled or inspired by the muse? To me, the muse is simply inspiration. And inspiration in its purest form feels like inspirited action, or the act of spirit flowing through us. But what is spirit? It's not necessarily religious. It's a feeling that arises from within, a vibration that pulses through us. Sometimes it bypasses our conscious mind and we feel it from our hearts or in our guts. Artists often seek this state of being, finding solace in its flow. It's a space where creation happens freely, where we're connected to something profound and uniquely human. To be lost in the music or guided in a painting is to find yourself in that space, where creation flows effortlessly. Art gives us a voice to the parts of ourselves that words cannot reach, connecting us to our shared humanity. Whether light or dark, art reflects life in all its complexities, showing us who we truly are. Isn't it amazing that we can experience such rich, vibrant lives and then share what we're feeling? Somehow the energy is transferred from the artist to the one experiencing their creation, regardless of time, distance, or cultural differences. How is this even possible? Faith often reveals itself in unexpected ways. It meets us where we are, if only we would pause to feel it. And then in the midst of all this vibrant living, there is the impending question: what happens when we die? When our bodies fail, who are we? Are we anything at all? Science tells us that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It transforms. So what happens to the us in that transformation? Is there an afterlife? Obviously, the organics of these bodies that we identify so deeply with go back to the earth. But what about the core flame in our hearts? This feels different than our bodies. Do we have faith in some kind of continuance? If not, then does it really matter, any of it? These questions can feel paralyzing. But what if meaning doesn't come from out there, then, but from within here, now? What if it emerges from the love we give, the experiences we embrace, and the connections we nurture? What if the goal isn't to solve the mystery of death, but to live so fully that the question fades away? When faith in the divine is distant, where do we turn? What becomes our compass when certainty eludes us? Let's explore the afterlife, an enigma that fascinates humanity. Is it a comforting story to soothe our fear of nothingness? Or could there be something real, something beyond our reach? From visions of heavenly bliss to the void of nothingness, beliefs about the afterlife run the full spectrum. What interests me most is not what awaits us after death, but how these beliefs shape our lives right now. No matter the belief system, there seems to be a presence beyond the physical, a force that offers peace, meaning, and quiet guidance. I sense it. Join me as we explore not only the mysteries of life after death, but the urgency of life before death. Because in the end, perhaps the greatest faith isn't in what comes next, but how we choose to be and create here and now. Beyond the Veil, exploring non-religious perspectives on the afterlife. In our previous exploration, we discussed finding purpose outside traditional religious beliefs, through humanity, nature, knowledge, and creativity. Now let's tackle the timeless question, what happens when we die? This time we will approach the afterlife from a non-religious angle. Let's begin with nihilism. At its core, nihilism argues life has no inherent meaning. When we die, that's it. There is no afterlife, just an end to existence. While bleak, this perspective offers comfort. No after death, no fear, no regrets. Without a grand meaning, perhaps life's point is simply living, experiencing, loving, and surviving. For others, reincarnation provides hope. Without a final end, life's a journey through countless lifetimes, focusing on growth or karma. This cyclical view, common in Hinduism and Buddhism, suggests that we're always evolving. Now, science adds another layer to this. Like we said, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it only transforms. So when we die, our bodies decompose. But what about the energy of our consciousness? Consciousness itself is one of science's greatest mysteries. Could it be energy that, like all things, undergoes transformation after death? This then opens up another question. What is it to be human? Are we limiting ourselves to seeing ourselves as being contained to these bodies, or transhumanism? Well, there's transhumanism, which challenges our understanding of both the body and of consciousness. Advances in cryogenics, brain-computer interfaces, and genetic engineering could allow us to extend human life, preserve consciousness, and even merge with machines. These innovations changing what it means to be human and potentially rewriting the rules of death. The real question might not be finding the ultimate answer, but staying curious, exploring different beliefs, nihilism, reincarnation, transhumanism, or others, and letting them shape how we live today. Are you familiar with humanistic existentialism? It doesn't dwell on the afterlife, but focuses on the present. Life may lack inherent meaning, but that's where the beauty lies. We create meaning through our choices and actions. Who needs an afterlife when we can create a lasting legacy now? Agnostics, on the other hand, embrace uncertainty. They don't claim to know what happens after death, but focus on living well in the present. This openness encourages humility and curiosity. I often find myself in this agnostic space, blending different beliefs. Now, could our beliefs shape the afterlife? Quantum physics suggests that consciousness and reality are intertwined, hinting that our thoughts could influence what comes next. Some ancient texts suggest the same thing. Another fascinating concept is collective consciousness. What if we're all a part of an interconnected system and our thoughts contribute to a shared human experience? In this view, we never truly die, but merge with something greater. Okay, now these are just a few of the non-religious perspectives on the afterlife. Many people blend these ideas, forming unique belief systems based on their own experience, or they come up with something entirely on their own. It's totally up to you. Contemplating what happens after death can also clarify how we live right now. Looking ahead, we'll explore the future of immortality and legacy. What if science could extend life indefinitely? This next chapter delves into genetics and biotechnology, exploring the possibilities of eternal life. Stay tuned. You might just begin to question if death is something that we need to accept at all. For those of you who are in a position to sponsor this project on a larger level, please get in touch with me. I'll put my contact information in at the end of this video. I'm open to sponsorship agreements with products and services that line up with the 4 pillars and improve the lives and empower individuals and organizations to create amazing things. Welcome back, friends. In our last segment, we explored the mysteries of life and death. And while answers may remain elusive, one truth is clear. We are all a part of something greater than ourselves. Our lives matter, not just in the moments we experience, but in the legacy we leave behind. This brings us to genetic immortality. When we think of immortality, we often think of figures like Saint Germain or fictional characters like Connor MacLeod.
There can be only one.
These immortals walked through centuries, gathering knowledge, creating art, and witnessing the evolution of humanity. What could we accomplish with endless time? How might we understand life and death after centuries of existence? Perhaps immortality isn't about extending individual lives. It could lie in what we pass on, in our genetic blueprint that carries our essence into future generations. Each of us is a part of an ancient genetic line. We are the product of billions of years of successful survival and reproduction. If we're fortunate, our genetic story continues, but it goes beyond biology. Our choices, partnerships, and the lives we build contribute to this process. Every time we nurture our families, support communities, or improve the world in some small way, we create a legacy that transcends our time. Our influence echoes in the lives we touch, even beyond our genetic line. To embrace the idea of legacy, we can prioritize health and longevity. By focusing on physical and mental well-being, we extend our time to nurture future generations. We can foster stronger relationships, impacting others long after we're gone. Beyond family, our actions can contribute to a broader human story, whether through education, environmental sustainability, or social justice. Preserving knowledge and stories also serves as a kind of immortality. Sharing wisdom through writing, teachings, or creative expressions ensures our insights survive. Just as species adapt to changing environments or the threat of a new species, we thrive when we remain open to growth and change. Otherwise, well, look what's happening right now. The key question is, am I living with purpose? Faith isn't only about belief in the afterlife. It's about believing our actions today have meaning. By living with intention and aligning our actions with our values, we shape the future and show others the world we want to create. Though we may be finite, the ripple effect of our lives could be infinite. Our genes, how we love, the values we live by, they all echo through time, forming a part of our life's grand story. Faith is the quiet knowing that we're a part of something bigger. Whether through intellect, emotional wisdom, creativity, or the pulse of life itself, this force moves through all of us. We are living in extraordinary times. The future may feel uncertain, But within that uncertainty lies infinite possibilities. Faith is about believing that our choices matter, that the love we give, the kindness we show, and the dreams we chase can all leave a mark. We are already shaping the future, one step at a time. So go ahead and ask yourself, what do I believe in? What fuels my spirit? What legacy am I creating with my choices? If you're proud of the person you've become, keep going. That's awesome. If not, that's okay. Remember, every day is a chance to begin again. I have faith in you. Believe in your actions. Trust in the goodness of the world and know this: you matter. Your legacy is already unfolding. Thank you so much for being here. Whatever your path, keep moving forward with hope, courage, and faith that the best is still to come. My name is Scott Love, and this has been the premiere episode of Portals Podcast Season 3. I hope you enjoyed this episode on faith. If you did, how about showing some love and liking that video and subscribing to this channel? It's such a simple thing to do, and it really does a lot to help us reach our goals and milestones. Thanks again, and let's get inspired.